The big dog, the tribal chief, or just plain Joe, Roman Reigns has crawled his way to the top. If you've been living under a rock, this man has been the face of the WWE for years. But it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. He was probably the most hated man in all of WWE history. He comes from the Anoa'i family, which has some of the greatest, like Rikishi, Umaga, Yokozuna, and Rosie. Rosie is actually Roman Reigns' late brother, and unfortunately out of all these four, Rikishi is the only one alive today. Now, before wrestling, Roman Reigns started his career off in football. Look at the tribal jewel. I'm surprised Vince McMahon didn't sell any of that tribal jewel along with other Roman Reigns memorabilia. Madman would do anything for money. Now, who would have thought this football player would be the star of the company? He only played for one season, so his actual football career didn't last too long. And after that season, he went on to debut in FCW.
You see, when you go on a 4-month vacation, you become very observant. You start to notice the little things, like walking, being able to break a sweat, and simply being able to put on your own shoes. And as you know, the little things add up to the big things, like competing, earning big checks, and winning championship after championship after championship after championship. When I step back into this ring, it has to be my way. Otherwise, a lot of people are gonna go on vacation. And those, my friends, are words straight from the boss's mouth. So now what I'd like to do, I'd like to take a moment of silence for the little things. Now you can cheer for the boss.
During FCW, he actually had a triple threat match with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, that's some crazy foreshadowing. He went to NXT and he wrestled for one match and one match only before getting called to the main roster. But now is when things get interesting.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
November 18th, 2012, The Shield make their debut in WWE and they fucked shit up. But those turtlenecks that they were wearing were actually crazy. And getting your ass beat by 3 guys wearing turtlenecks was just not the move. Thankfully, they changed their attires.
It was a very cool look.
Surprisingly, because if you look at past gentlemen who've donned the SWAT gear, it hasn't always had a cool connotation to it. We kind of made it cool.
Yeah, I mean, Big Boss Man looked intimidating, but...
He did, but it was weird.
He's a big man, yeah, but not like... Yeah,
you knew him as, you know, Big Boss Man, the blue top and the black pants.
He was by himself, too. We came in as like a little army, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's a whole hell of a lot better than turtlenecks. I'll tell you that. Imagine if we had stayed in the turtlenecks.
The first night was a fashion faux pas. If we'd used the shields...
The
shields?
Yeah. Oh, my God. That would have been a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the way that NXT system's working now, you know, their fans know who these people are before they even debut on TV, so they get a head start, and there's like all this effort put into building these guys from the ground up, you know, so it's kind of an easier transition.
Much easier transition.
Back then, we were just 3 nobodies, nobody knew. Well, you wanted your shot, here's your shot. Go on TV, and, you know, what are we gonna address? I don't know. What's our music gonna be? I don't know. What are we gonna be called? I don't know. We had to figure it out all on our own, and it all just, like, they gave us the opportunity and the platform, but, like, the Shield is ours.
We made it.
Yeah, we built that.
We own that.
We built the look, we built the attitude, like from the ground up.
It would take the whole roster to lay these men on their backs. They were just built up so perfectly and they seemed unstoppable. Until the whole authority angle started and we would see the Shield eventually break up due to Seth Rollins turning on Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Now this would actually put Roman Reigns on a dark path. Out of those 3, fans really didn't want to see Roman Reigns pushed down our throats. The 2015 Royal Rumble was probably the worst Royal Rumble in history. Roman Reigns won the Rumble and the crowd was ruthless.
Here is your winner, Roman.
I was booed historically. You think of these moments. You dream about them. And the moment that it actually happens, it's like they're playing the worst soundtrack of all time over your moment, ruining your party. That's how the Rumble in Philly felt.
In the Royal Rumble, the last man standing is the winner and goes to WrestleMania to face the WWE champion. Fans looked at Roman as, oh yeah, he's pretty cool. But when they realized that WWE, the corporate machine, had gotten their hands on Roman Reigns, that Roman was the next guy that was going to be shoved down our throat, we weren't ready for Roman Reigns to be that guy.
It didn't matter if we were ready or not, it was happening, and the WWE Universe was not happy.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy.
Hey, Dookie dog shit. The guy. There was no turning back at this point. There was nothing that anybody could do to make us fans cheer for Roman Reigns. They even did a little Shield reunion, and you could still hear the boos when Roman talked. Now, during this Royal Rumble, he was the last two in the ring with Shinsuke. But thankfully, Shinsuke won. But don't you count Roman out, because he would then go on to the Elimination Chamber and he would win. I watched this live in the arena, and I have no clue how a riot didn't start. But then, this happened.
My real name is Joe. And I've been living with leukemia for 11 years. And unfortunately, it's back.
Fans hated Roman Reigns, but the person Joe is a different story. We all hoped that he would come back and make a speedy recovery. We understand that this is just this man's job. And 5 months later, he did exactly that. He came back, but then COVID-19 hit, and this really affected the WWE. And because of this, Roman Reigns had to go back to being out of action, since his immune system was shot down because of the chemo. They can make it the safest work environment possible. It is not the workplace that I was necessarily concerned about. The decision was taken mainly because each performer travels so much, and we are all such a diverse group and from all over the place. I'm not convinced, and I can't trust the fact that everybody is taking it as seriously and locking themselves down at home like I am. I trust my life with my coworkers every time I step foot into the ring, but I just can't put the same trust when it has my children, my wife, and my family involved. It was later claimed by Paul Heyman that Reigns officially considered himself retired from professional wrestling during this period.
I try to forget Philly. I try to forget the Royal Rumble. There's only one positive. And that's the fact that it's going to be able to tie all the way back around. WrestleMania 40. And like I said before, I was tunnel visioned and I treated it very seriously and I was groomed.
This is it. The tribal era has started. This is exactly what we needed from Roman Reigns. I mean, look how popular it is. There's a 4-hour-long video on this. This is insane.
Rumors give losers false hope. And compared to me, everyone's a loser around here. Because I've beaten them all. I've beaten them all. As a matter of fact, I'm running laps around this roster. It's getting embarrassing now. Management's getting desperate. What they do? What's that thing they did for tonight?
Black Friday Battle Royal.
A Black Friday Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender for the head of the table. Come on. Battle Royal, elimination match, gauntlet match, 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, it doesn't matter to me. How about we let 3 of them win tonight, huh? How about 4 of them can win tonight because I'll smash them all. And I can do that because I'm the best of the best. I'm the Universal Champion. I'm the head of the table. I'm your tribal chief. The whole world will acknowledge me.
The Bloodline was simply the greatest thing to come from wrestling in years. The storylines, the characters, it was just pure perfection. Eventually, Sami Zayn joined the Bloodline, and this was some of his best work. Each and every one of these men helped each other shine, and it was the most talked about thing ever. Now, eventually, Solo would betray the Bloodline and he would start a bloodline of his own. I guess the whole story is so good you need 2 of them. This eventually led into tribal combat, having both bloodlines go up against each other. And it made it even all the better because they were all related. Roman Reigns went from a silly nobody, pushed down our throats, hated by fans, to one of the best wrestlers in the world. This man has conquered it all, and there will only ever be one tribal chief, Roman Reigns.